Mike Lowe, and we are going to be going over the slider set that I've been working on for NBA 2K23. For whatever reason, if there's one thing I guess I'm known for in the sports gaming community, it is gameplay sliders. MLB The Show, #1 downloaded slider set for a number of years until I quit buying the game this year. Madden, another very, very popular set. And this is really my first kind of full-fledged attempt. I've kind of dabbled in it in the past, but this is really my first attempt at setting up NBA 2K sliders. The game plays really, really well out of the box. You've probably seen that on Twitter and whatnot. It's really, really nice here in the early phases. And again, this is kind of just a beta version. I will do some future videos as I have bigger updates to this. So this is a beta. It's not 100% guaranteed to be perfect, but the whole goal of this set is to get three things working in unison with each other. It's to get the simulated games matching with your played games, and also to match real life statistics, especially when we look back on, say, the 21-22 season. So I'm just going to go through. I won't talk about every single one of these things. I'm not going to spend a ton of time, on each screen. You will want to pause this video as you're inputting these. I'm not uploading them just yet because I don't want to have 700 versions of my sliders. So for now, we're just going with the video here that you'll be able to access and reference on your phone or whatever next to your system, and you can put these in. These are on PS5. I have no idea if they will work on PS4. I have no idea if they'll work on Xbox. I'm assuming so, next gen. I have no idea if they'll work on PC. You will need to try it. I don't have those systems. I will not be testing on those systems. So I cannot stress this enough. You are on your own, or if you want to kind of post the question for others, feel free, but I won't be answering those questions because I just don't know. And that's the best I can really offer you, is just kind of a transparency on that. So let's just go through again. I'm not going to narrate every little thing here. Some of these screens you're going to see there's not a lot changed, right? And this is, by the way, inside of your My NBA. So there's different menus kind of look a little bit differently, but this is inside of your actual era. This is just a modern era. And again, there's some stuff here that really was not touched. And I'll just kind of flip through this and try not to overtalk you, possibly entering in some stuff here. So everything on that screen is off. I don't think I touched too much on here. Just turn those options off there. Draft class quality, it really just kind of depends if you're using one or not. I haven't really dabbled because I'm probably going to be using some custom ones. Career-ending injury, just down a little bit. It's pretty rare when we see those in real life. So difficulty, right? So this is gameplay difficulty. This is kind of like My NBA difficulty, I should say. So this isn't like gameplay sliders. This isn't necessarily simulation sliders. But here's kind of what we're going with so far. And I'll scroll up again here. Working really hard to get chemistry to matter, but also not to completely tank you if you're a bad team. You will have players who are pretty upset, rightfully so, being on a really, really bad team, but other players who will just be content and they can live with it. So that was something I was working on a little bit tonight. These are the simulation sliders. So these are in simulated games only. These sliders do not impact, as far as I can tell, actual gameplay, whether that's CPU versus CPU or human versus CPU. These are the simulator. This is actually where I started. This to me is really the important part, because this is probably where a lot of your games are going to be played, is in the simulation engine itself. And I wanted these to match real life statistics. And that was the goal here. So we had to kind of bring some things down, because as you've seen in simulated games in this NBA 2K23, we have just a lot happening, right? Really, really high scores, things like this, and all of that kind of just played into some inflated stats really across the board. There were some things that needed bumping, like blocks. Turnovers, you're thinking, oh my gosh, why is it low? Everyone else has it high. I think that's wrong. And here's why. I want turnovers to be how they are in real life. In simulated games, they're really, really high, which makes it impossible in your played games to come even close to that. I've scaled these down to real life, kind of matching real life number of actual turnovers. Same thing with fouls, by the way. And that is allowing you then to, in your play games, come up with numbers that are going to match real life and the simulated games, right? So that's why they're there. It should work pretty well so far. Let's see. I've messed a little bit with injuries. I mean, truthfully, that's something I'm still monitoring. I don't like to like start going crazy and rocketing injuries up because you can't undo injuries. I mean, I guess you can edit and stuff, but you know what I mean. Like a player gets hurt, they're hurt. If they're out for 6 months because you had the slider too high, that's kind of a bummer. So I kind of leaving that alone right now. I don't want to start creeping that up just yet until we have to. But there are some other spots where we're going to be doing that. So let's see. And actually, I'm sorry, I did mean to bump that. That's actually at 55. So I meant to bump that up before I started the stream. So shot types, those all stayed the same for now because I was actually I started messing with these, but I was able to kind of leave them as is by adjusting more of these. So a goal with a lot of these here, of course, just to get things lined up with real life. Try to kind of bump up that points in the paint in simulated games a little bit more. And so again, I won't get into all of the details as to why things are like this, but just kind of worked out that way. Stat distribution I didn't mess with. I didn't really see any issues there. So that's the simulation page. And again, you can just kind of pause that and look around if you need to see those closer. I doubt you care about my ticker settings, but just in case, I spent about 30 seconds looking at this, so I wasn't too concerned. Obviously, you can do whatever you want with the ticker. And then let's go in and let's see. I think we saw all of these. Gameplay. Let's see. Yeah, there's a few things in here. Nothing too shocking here. I have game speed at 50 for now. Seems to be going fine. But if you want to see the settings I'm using, you can. I've been doing a lot of CPU versus CPU games, right? So if you see certain things like, oh, why do you have that visual off? How do you play like that? That's probably why. I don't know if I even have that set there, but in case you do see something like that, that's probably the reason. Okay, nothing else there. So then we can go in here. Now, I didn't mess too much with these next few. Of course, gameplay sliders I did, which you'll see. In here, I mean, again, a lot of these you can kind of do whatever you want. Trade frequency, this is an important step that I'm going to be doing. I did something similar in MLB The Show. I think 50 is going to be good until you get to the day of the trade deadline or maybe even the day before. I would jack this up. I would say, if I had to guess, I haven't done thorough testing on this just yet, somewhere like the 75 to 100 range. 100 could be way overkill. So if you have feedback on that, if you've kind of dabbled with that, let me know. But last year in the NBA, there were about 20 trades throughout the season, and I think 10 of them happened on the trade deadline day. You will get about 8 to 10 trades up to then, but when you run the trade deadline at 50, maybe you'll get 1, maybe 2. If you want to kind of increase that, obviously, to get closer to that 20 and a bunch of trade deadline days, trades, let's just say, bump that slider up on the day of the trade deadline. I don't think I messed with anything down here. So these, at least I think. If I did, it was very, very minimal, but just kind of left this all is for now. That's, something eventually we can get into. This is pretty deep into the weeds. I mean, I'm just kind of focused on getting gameplay at this point. So yeah, I think all of this stuff is pretty straightforward. I know I didn't mess with attribute progression, so I can just save you the hassle there. That is exactly for all of these here. This entire growth phase, peak phase, I didn't touch any of these yet. Contracts, I mean, the only thing, hard cap off. I think everything else here is default. Yeah, again, that's just kind of a little widget they have in here, the salary expectation, so there's nothing there. And then we saw that. So let's see what else is left here. It's just the actual gameplay tuners, right? So here's what we're using. So first thing I can say, yes, I know I have user and CPU the same, and I'm gonna have people going, oh, why do you have tendency set for user? It doesn't matter. You're right, it doesn't matter. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm just OCD about it, I guess. For now, I'm just keeping them all the same. The tendencies, of course, don't matter when you're playing. I mean, you are the tendency. So just ignore that. So I can just kind of start by showing you the CPU. Again, there's a lot at default. The game plays well. We don't need to fix what's not broken. And if you start moving too many things around, I mean, you just create too many variables that start moving around. So pass accuracy is lowered, of course, to kind of force more turnovers. Ball security, same reason. When you have to go too crazy low, getting as many foul calls as we can, and we're actually getting pretty good results with this. Getting as much contact as possible when someone drives, which is pretty standard for the NBA nowadays. So we have really, if you're going inside and there's contact, or there's going to be contact when you go inside, right? Just about every time. Bumped up the help defense. That's going to help prevent some of the paint and points in the paint, which you get a lot of sometimes in played games. Steal success up, again, creating more turnovers. Let's see. Scrolling down into the attributes, ball handling lowered a little bit, again, for the same reasons we just talked about. On ball defense, again, that's going to help with points in the paint, just kind of limiting some of those penetration moves and things like that. Steals increased. We got a lot of stuff at default here for now, and that's fine. So tendencies, this is actually an area I spent quite a bit of time on, and these are really important. Especially if you're in CPU versus CPU, or you're just playing against the CPU. These will matter a great deal, right? So take inside shots, close shots. Now, some of this you're going to need to monitor yourself. If you're taking inside shots, close shots all game long, you're going to get 80 points in the paint easily, right? If you don't want that, if you don't want to lead the league in PIP every single year, then you need to limit it yourself. You need to try to, and that's why I left these tendencies in on the user spot as well, so that you can kind of reference them and kind of keep them in mind about like kind of, where you should be, right? Taking lots of 3-pointers, right? This is going to help offset some of that points in the paint, but also they're a little bit low out of the box. Teams are shooting like in the teens with point attempts at default. It needs to be certainly into the 30s for most teams, right? So we've essentially doubled it, which is what we've done with the slider. So attack the basket lowered for the reasons we talked about with points in the paint. Let's see. Then we get into fouls. They're all maxed. Every single one of them, 100. It'll play just fine. And that's for both sides, right? CPU and user. And then I didn't actually touch movement for now. I think these are all just default, so those will be fine. Because I know when people ask me in the video, I will click to the user, and I will show you they are exactly the same sliders. So if you want to just stop there, you most likely can. But these are the exact same. At least I'm 99% sure. I'm checking to make sure that was 30 and 40 here. Yeah, yep, 30 and 40. So I'll just go through the user one again so you can see it, so no one freaks out. But they should be exactly the same. And again, tendencies, you are correct. They will not matter for the user, but they're there as just kind of a guideline for when you're playing games, where you want to kind of be around. And it's up to you. If you want to, get 85 points in the paint every night, go for it. No one's stopping you. Certainly not the game, unfortunately. So, there are ways we could probably start bumping that up more, but defensive awareness and again, on-ball guarding, things like that. So, but that's it. I, again, eventually will save these somewhere for quicker access, but for now, because they're beta, I don't want to get a bunch of feedback that I'm not really looking for at this point. I am open to feedback, of course, and I figured the people who would see this video would be a little bit more in tune with kind of the feedback they're providing, how to provide it constructively, which will be really important because I will ignore non-constructive feedback. So, but please, if you have it, definitely share it. And yeah, I'm really happy with, again, the game plays great out of the box. 2K always does just an awesome job getting this game ready. But again, it's a video game, right? And it is geared towards that a little bit. It's geared towards entertainment, a little bit more than reality. And so the goal of this set is to kind of just bring that back to reality, being okay with, things not always looking, ESPN highlight quality level, and just having it be realistic. And again, what I'm looking to do is kind of the trifecta of connecting real life stats, modern real life stats, that is. I can't vouch for whether this is going to work in the previous eras, but modern life stats, simulated games, and then the games you're playing or just watching in a CPU versus CPU setup. So that's the goal with this. I will have future updates, but for now, this is kind of the beta release. And yeah, I hope it works well, and I'm curious to hear how it all goes for you. And I'll be continuing the streaming series. Tuesdays and Thursdays is the plan right now of our NBA 2K My NBA GM kind of mode that we're doing as a community. So thanks for checking those videos out. Thanks for checking this video out. I'm Mike Lowe. I'm on Twitter at MikeLowe47. And yeah, if you'd like, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We got more 2K stuff coming your way. All right. Thanks, everyone.